If you've ever found yourself spiraling over a slow reply or replaying conversations again and again in your head, this one's for you. No, you're not crazy. You're triggered. This is what anxious attachment feels like in real time. If you have this attachment style, any perceived signs of rejection or abandonment can cause your internal system to raise the alarm. And it's not weakness. Anxious attachment doesn't make you weak. In fact, anxiously attached people are genuinely some of the strongest people I have ever met because they've been hurt, dismissed, left hanging, and they still care deeply. And living with this attachment style isn't easy. You're constantly managing intense emotions and you still show up for love. That's not weakness, that's grit. Anyway, anxious attachment makes you deeply attuned to signs of loss. But what exactly are the triggers for people of this attachment style? Today, we're going to look at 7 that show up in everyday life. So number 1 is delayed replies. And it's not just about the delay. It's really about what the delay represents. So silence can cause a huge amount of discomfort and panic for those who are anxiously attached. And it's because it represents uncertainty and a lack of reassurance. And it's not just in their heads, because often silence has been a warning sign before, say, ghosting, rejection, or distance. And their kind of threat detector is very sensitive. So even if there's just a little bit of silence, it can feel huge to them. Because when love has felt unpredictable in the past, even the smallest gap feels like something is wrong. So your mind fills in the blanks. They're pulling away. I said something wrong. I'm being rejected. And you might tell yourself things like, well, they're probably just busy. But your body is bracing for loss. Number 2, they watched your story but didn't reply to your message. And this is another common one for anxiously attached people. And it's not just what they did, it's the mismatch. They had time to watch your story, but not time to reply. How does that make sense? And your nervous system clocks that as rejection, even if your brain tries to play it cool. You can start thinking things like, well, if they like me and they had time to watch my story, they would have replied by now. They must have lost interest. They clearly saw it, so why are they ignoring my messages? And your mind can go round and round in circles, trying to make sense of it and trying to search for answers. It triggers that old pain of being visible but not chosen. It can feel like, well, they know I'm here. I must just be so unimportant to them. It feels very personal. A quick heads up, if you're anxiously attached, this next part is for you. If you constantly overthink, spiral, second guess yourself, we've got something that can help. It's called the Self-Trust Blueprint. It's our 3-step framework to go from anxious to secure in life and love without years of therapy or guesswork. And we're giving it away for free for a limited time. And honestly, I'm super, super passionate about it because I've seen it change so many lives. It's the exact framework I used myself to become securely attached, and my life is so much better for it. We've helped over 5,000 people find love through So Synced. Our work has been featured in Forbes, Cosmopolitan, the New York Times, and many more. And we've spent years refining the exact tools you'll find inside this blueprint. So if you're ready to go from spiraling to secure, sign up via the link in the description box to get it while it's still available. Number 3, not getting a good morning text when you usually do, or a good night text. So when you're anxiously attached, consistency is really, really, really important because you equate consistency with safety. And people who are anxiously attached are hypervigilant about picking up on inconsistencies. So if anything changes, no matter how small, you pick up on it fast and it throws you completely off balance. For someone who is securely attached, it might not really register, but for someone with an anxious attachment style, it activates something much deeper. That daily check-in isn't just a text. It's a small dose of reassurance. It's a signal that the connection is still intact, that you're still wanted. And if it doesn't come, your brain doesn't wait for context. It registers it as something's wrong. Number 4, they seem off. Someone seeming off can definitely be a trigger if you have an anxious attachment style. Not a big change or an obvious shift, just sensing that something is a little bit different. Maybe they used a different tone and you're wondering if they're annoyed at you, or maybe their energy is lower and you're wondering if they're losing interest. And it could just be that they're tired or distracted by work. But if you're anxiously attached, your system picks up on it immediately, and you often make it about you. So you start scanning, overanalyzing, trying to pinpoint what changed, because deep down, you feel like your safety depends on it. And it's not a conscious thing, just to be clear. So you might replay recent conversations or reread messages, searching for clues, trying to figure out a moment that might have caused this shift. Things like, did I say something wrong? Was my tone a bit off? Were they pulling away and I missed it? It's your nervous system trying to get ahead of rejection before it happens. It can come from a place of, if I can spot the disconnection early, maybe I can stop it. But it's super, super exhausting, and it keeps you stuck in a loop of anxiety instead of connection. Number 5, not calling when they say they will. Now I'm going to start by saying, it isn't ideal if someone says they're going to call and then they don't. But if it's a one-off, then yeah, okay. Life does happen. Things get in the way. Maybe they didn't see the time. But if it's a regular thing, it isn't a great foundation for a relationship because it erodes trust. So for someone with an anxious attachment style, consistency isn't just nice. It's what helps them stay steady. So when someone says they'll call and they don't, it doesn't just feel disappointing, it feels destabilizing. And even small broken promises can feel like confirmation of an old fear, that people don't follow through and that connection isn't safe. Number 6, being left on red during a vulnerable conversation. Now this one is deeply painful for people who are anxiously attached. I would say it's the biggest trigger on this list. Because not only is it silence, it's silence after you've opened your heart and after you've taken a risk. So being vulnerable is essential for building a connection. And it can absolutely be a strength. It can be a beautiful thing, but it's also not that simple. There is a time and a place for different types and different levels of vulnerability. So unloading our feelings onto other people whenever we want, that isn't healthy vulnerability. That's emotional dumping. And sometimes when you're anxiously attached, you might rush that timeline. And what that looks like is sharing more quickly than what the other person is ready for. And that's one of the reasons why I say the best thing you can do if you're anxiously attached is work on becoming securely attached. And I have a one-to-one coaching program for exactly that. You can sign up to our email list if it's of interest. The link is in the description box below. So yes, when someone doesn't respond in those moments when you've been vulnerable, it can feel like real rejection. It confirms your deepest fear. When I show up as the real me, people pull away. Number 7, a vague social media post. And this one might seem small, but for someone with an anxious attachment style, it can send you spiraling. Maybe this person posted a cryptic quote, a song lyric, a meme about spending time alone. Maybe there's a photo of them with a girl or a guy in the background who you think they might be close with. And your brain goes into overdrive. You can keep going round and round in circles for hours or even days, trying to look even more closely for any signs that might help you figure out what's really going on. Again, this is your brain trying to find certainty because unpredictability feels unsafe. Your brain would rather accept a painful explanation than sit in uncertainty. And often this painful explanation isn't actually correct. And a lot of the time with this one, whoever posted it didn't really mean to be sending a vague message. It was just that they posted it and didn't really think about it. But when you're anxiously attached, your brain just won't let it go. So yes, there we have it. 7 anxious attachment triggers. If you felt any or all of these, you're not alone. They're common. And even though they're common, they're still deeply painful. And that pain doesn't mean you're broken. It means your system learned to protect you in ways that no longer serve you. But you can unlearn these unhelpful patterns. And I work one-to-one with clients to do exactly that. If you're interested, sign up for our newsletter to get early access to our upcoming coaching programs and tools to help you build loving, lasting relationships. The link's in the description box below.